Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be talking about another position in our FM22 Gegenpress system, which is the left-sided centre-back. In the last video we talked about the right-sided centre-back, so honestly all the sort of traits and attributes and stuff that we're looking for are going to be basically the same, so I do encourage you to also watch that video. In fact, I'll put a little link up in the top right to that, so yeah, feel free to check it out. We'll just quickly talk then about what we're going to look for in the left-sided centre-back. Primarily we're looking for players who can do a ball-playing defender role. So we're doing that really so they can help be a creative as well as a defensive influence. They're someone who's going to be good on the ball and can sort of help launch chances from the back. Ideally for shorter passing, but also they hopefully can be someone who can spray passes out a bit further as well to perhaps the inside forwards or even the striker. So we'll going to move straight on to taking a look at probably the best left-sided centre-back in the game, and that is Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool. Now, he's going to be fairly unique on this list of players I'm going to talk about because he is actually right-footed, but in real life he does play on the left side of defence, and I'm pretty sure in the game Liverpool will automatically play him in that spot as well. So there's a few things that mark Van Dijk out as being particularly good for this role. The first thing we're going to talk about is pace. I think I was a little bit lenient in the last video in terms of the minimum value for this. I think probably 13 as a bare minimum for pace. So but the more the better. The quicker these centre backs are, the more effective they're going to be, and that's because we're playing a fairly high line. So any attackers that break through the defence or any balls over the top, they're going to have the recovery pace to get back and put in challenges and block attacks. Next thing we're going to talk about is strength. So we want our defenders to have good strength. They can knock players off the ball, and also when they're on the ball, as they are a ball-playing role, they're going to have the strength to hold attackers off as well. Something I think is pretty important for the defenders I like is jumping reach and heading. Partly because in a defensive sense, as attackers are going to be trying to hit long, or opposition players are going to try and hit long balls over the top. If they've got the good jumping reach and heading, they've got a better chance of sort of blocking those before they can become dangerous. But also, they're going to be our main sort of focal point for our attacking corners as well. And feel free to check out the corners video I put together as well, talking about how effective near-post setups can be. And defensive corners as well. They're going to be very good at stopping opposition players getting shots on target from corners. First touch and technique are also very important because as more technical players, they're going to want to control the ball quickly when they receive it and have the technique to, just hit the ball well when they're passing it out. And on that note, passing and vision are reasonably important. Passing perhaps more so because they're going to have the ability to send the ball where they want it to, so that's where the good technique comes in as well. And vision, they're going to spot the runs of the players ahead of them, and hopefully carve out a few chances from the back. Concentration and decisions both important, and that's something Van Dijk has in spades here. Defenders are the sort of thing, they're like the safety net as goalkeepers as well, the safety net of the team really. So they're not needed, but then once or more a match they're going to be suddenly very needed, and then they need the concentration just to make sure they're on the ball as and when those moments arrive, even if it's only, say, they might not be needed until the 90th minute of the game, but when that happens they've got to be there to deal with it. And decisions, just so they're doing the right thing at the right time. Anticipation, and I'll talk about it separately, but positioning is just as important. So anticipation is so they're going to be able to spot the attackers' runs coming in at them and make sure that they're getting in the right place to meet those, and positioning as well. So again, they're putting themselves in the right place at the right time. That's quite important. And lastly, bravery as well. Determination is good too, but bravery is the one that really singles them out as a player who'll put themselves in harm's way really when they're clearing balls or tackling opposition attackers. So that's why Virgil's very good. He is quite expensive in the game. In fact, I've never seen him in any of my campaigns. I've never seen him playing for anyone but Liverpool. He tends to end his career there. But looking at the price he's valued at here, possibly getting on towards £130 million might be enough to get him, but whether he'd want to leave is a different matter. But we're going to look at someone who is more attainable, and that is Josko Gvardiol, who has been really good in the last couple of editions of the game, actually. He was a bit of a sort of a secret, a well-kept secret, well, a closely guarded secret for FM21 perhaps. He wasn't very well known. I think he'd just come into the team at Leipzig, but turned out to be one of the best defenders of the game. So in FM22, you know, he's already starting off very, very strong. He's only 19, but he's already very quick. He's strong. He's very brave. He's very good anticipation. Positioning's decent, but can improve. Marking and tackling good. Passing is good. He's got all the stuff you need really, and he's decent in the air at the start. He is 6'1", so he's not the tallest, but as he develops, he will get better at that. And for my money, he's just simply one of my favourite players for this role in the game, I would say. In terms of the cost, at the start of the game, he's reasonably affordable. In this campaign here, although it is October, so maybe his price has gone up a little bit, but at the start of the summer window, I've seen him available for probably around the £60 million mark, which is, you know, if you're playing an elite team, something that should be fairly affordable. And I've also seen quite a few of my campaigns going into the second season, like the summer 2022. He's actually ended up with a minimum fee release clause around the 70 to £73 million sort of mark. So that might be something worth keeping an eye out as well, because that'll sort of put a ceiling on the amount that he'll cost. And I'm just quick, before we move on, I'll quickly put a picture up now of what he's going to look like in a few years' time. And you can see he develops really, really well. And yeah, very good choice. The next player we're going to look at is maybe slightly more expensive and slightly older as well. It's Alessandro Bastoni at Inter Milan. 22 years of age. He's taller. He's 6'3", so his jumping and heading are a little bit better than Gvardiol's. But he's still quick. He's strong. Good bravery, anticipation and positioning very good. His marking, tackling very high. Good technique. Good passing and vision. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Yeah, he's one of the best left-sided defenders in the game, I would say. It's actually rated as elite here. But with that in mind, he's perhaps not too unreasonably priced at around the 50 to £80 million mark. That sort of investment would be very well paid off, and I think I've got a slide here of what he'll look like again in a few years' time. And yeah, so as good as he is at the start, he still has a lot of room to improve. And yeah, one of the best in the game. Another player we're going to look at now, a little bit on the older side, but still in his prime, is Presnel Kimpembe at Paris Saint-Germain. 26 years of age. Again, slightly on the shorter side, so his jumping reach and heading, while good, are perhaps not amazing, particularly the jumping reach, but you know, still a very good choice. Very quick, very strong. Positioning, anticipation are good. His bravery is very good. His passing is pretty good. Vision maybe not as amazing, but I think that's probably okay, because the other benefits he brings are pretty good. So marking and tackling are very high. First touch and technique are good. Again, left-footed, which is what we're looking for. He can probably be had, again, although it's on the higher side here, at the start of the campaign, I've seen him listed for around about the sort of 50 to £55 million mark. Might be worth keeping an eye out for that, but it looks like as time goes on, he's going to get more expensive. And the next player we're going to look at is Pau Torres at Villarreal. 24 years of age, another tall player, 6'3", so his jumping, reach and heading is very, very good. Good pace, good strength, good bravery, anticipation and positioning are very good. Marking, tackling very good. Again, maybe the vision even a little bit lower, so he's perhaps not going to be the most creative player, but he's still going to be, you know, very good at that left-sided ball-playing defender role. And again, I'm going to put up a little slide here, what he'll look like in a couple of years' time, because he does still have a bit of room to grow. And yeah, there isn't a huge amount of left-sided centre-backs in the game, and he is one of the better ones, so worth checking out. Price is a little bit higher here than I've seen at the start of the campaign. I think I started a new campaign just to sort of see what players were like at the very start, and he actually had a £51 million minimum fee release clause in the last campaign I checked. So I don't know if that's maybe something that's brought in an update perhaps, but worth checking. And finally, the last player we're going to look at is very much towards the more bargain end of the spectrum. And that's David Carmo at, I think is it Braga he's at? He's He's not as good as the other players we've looked at. In fact, his maximum ceiling is lower than those. But at the same time, he's only really going to cost, around about the £2 million mark potentially. And for that, he can be bought by championship clubs who are sort of pushing for promotion, or teams in the Premier League who are perhaps expecting to battle relegation. And for those sort of sides, he's a very, very good choice because he's left-footed here. He's the tallest one we've seen so far. He's 6'5", so his jumping reach is very good. Heading could be better, but still very good. Pace is good, good strength, bravery, anticipation, the positioning, passing and vision is good. In fact, better than some of the others we've looked at. Marking is good. Tackling could be better, but it's still all right. And technique and first touch are okay. So for the £2 million you'd probably expect to spend on him, he's very good. So there we have it. Sort of ideal players for the left-sided ball-playing defender role in our Gegenpress system, and a range of values as well, like development options, bargain options, and elite options, depending on which club you're playing. So hopefully a bit of something for everyone. Thanks very much for watching. When we come back next time, we're going to take a look at sweeper keepers, and I hope to see you then. Bye for now.